Hello, this is BBL Lab, and today I'm with Elvisi Dusha of the Plymouth Raiders. So, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Marcel. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. So, well, the way it'll work today is I've wrote up a series of questions, and I'll then ask questions that the fans have put forward, and then I've got kind of a quick fire sort of round at the end as well. So then we'll run
Yeah,
through that. Okay.
sound good. Let's do this.
So to start off, so I guess everyone watching or listening kind of knows who you are. Talk a bit about yourself and I guess explain your background as well.
About myself, really. It's not too much. I mean, I was born in Albania, 26. Been in the BBL for 8 years. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
eighth year. Been in the BBL for 8 years, and yeah, was born in Albania. Played a few different teams in the league, and yeah, won a trophy, lost cup and championship final. But yeah, we'll make up for that.
Okay, I was going to ask. So I think it was the final you lost. Was it at Worcester? I was going to ask how, as a pro, how tough is it? I guess to take that loss in a final after what making your way to the final as well.
That one was actually the toughest, to be
Mm.
completely honest with you. One because of let me just put this down. Sorry, was the toughest for me because the year before that we made the trophy final with Plymouth, which we lost to in Leicester in Glasgow.
Mm.
But the one with Worcester, the cup final in Birmingham, was probably the biggest loss I'd say we had, close to even the championship final too. That one definitely hit hard because it was on the day of my mum's birthday, first of all,
Oh.
and uh, it was just a game that we should have won. If I'm being completely
Mm.
honest, I mean I'm not discrediting anything from Cheshire at the time. They played an amazing game and they deserved it as well. I just think we we as a team had it, and we should have won that. Should have taken the trophy back to Worcester,
Yeah,
cup
yeah.
back to Worcester, and we just didn't. And especially that year, I think ended up starting by Christmas, and I became like the leader of that team. And it was kind of I was having a great year in terms of leading the squad, assist and whatnot. So it was just yeah, it was. I was proper gutted we lost that one. I'm not going
Yeah,
to lie
yeah.
to you, big time gutted we lost that one.
Yeah, I think that was the year I got into properly got into British basketball. I think I remember watching that final. So obviously following the next year, the Royals and that and you won the trophy. So what was it like winning the trophy, especially against the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to win that. There was, that was such a great feeling winning that
Yeah,
trophy and being able to say, I've finally won something in the BBL, especially after what that was after 6 years, I think, or five
yeah,
years.
yeah.
So it just felt amazing to get that, and it felt even sweeter it being against London, but not just sweet. It also felt like it kind of showed that we as a team deserved to win it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we didn't, no offense, we didn't beat a team that was, had just kind of made a quick, nice run and got to
Mm.
the final. We played a team that we all knew was probably going to make that final. We played London, who are a big team. So, and beating them just kind of, just magnifies how good we was as
Yeah,
well. So, and
yeah.
it was such a great win. And I think the best thing for me was, or the most warm feeling was winning it with them, with the guys that was on the team, with OJ, with Matt, with Ash, with Will, with Jules, with Ed, with AJ, with Big Will, with literally everyone. Like even the coaching staff with Junior, who I've known since I was playing in, them. I forgot what the leagues were called, like them local leagues back in the
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
and
yeah.
playing against coach when he was coaching at Westminster, and the assistant Big Mike, and just everyone we had involved at the time, like literally every single person. It felt surreal. It wasn't like whereas now, not now, but whereas there's been teams where you're kind of like everyone's new to you, like
Yeah,
damn,
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
met you, I've never met you, I've never met you, and you win. But winning it with guys who I grew up with was just, man, there was no better feeling than winning it with two of my closest friends on the team, with Jules and Will, and even with Ed, and it was a surreal moment, and it just really happy we done it.
Yeah, well, like you said, with the people that were on the team, and I think I remember seeing at the time after the game, it was something like 22, guys from
Yeah,
London.
it
It
was
was
21
21.
UK players. I think majority, all of us were London,
Yeah,
or if
yeah,
not London, it was like Surrey, which is just outside of London or something.
yeah,
So it was like 21 guys who was like British passport holders, sort of playing in the league, and it was crazy. Like, it was just a surreal feeling. I think Vince put a tweet out that after the game talking about
yeah,
how like it was two London coaches against 21 players in total, and it was just crazy. Like, it was just, you didn't really deep it until
yeah, yeah, yeah.
afterwards. Like, you go home and you're like, oh, you know what, damn, like we really did just do that. And then we'd all, like, during the summer, we'd all link up and we'd all, I'd see Justin, I'd see Joe, I'd see Jordan Spencer, you'd see all the guys you play against, and it's just like you have that moment to talk about. It's wicked, man.
Yeah, yeah. So sticking to the London theme, obviously you mentioned you're originally from Albania. What was it like moving over to the UK? At a young age and kind of coming through the UK, I guess London basketball program. To where you are now.
Yeah. The transition, I mean, I was really young at the time, so
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't know exactly what it was like, but I just remember, I mean, basketball was never in the plan when we moved over here. It was more just to get a better life. If
yeah,
being honest, it was more just to get away from all the drama and struggles and stress back home, but also to just find basketball out in the UK was like a massive, like, was big for me. I love sports in general, and then falling in love with basketball and being able to pursue it as a career was just an even greater feeling. But yeah, and then basketball in London, I'd say, like, it's definitely, it's tough. Like, you got to be tough to play in London. If
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
being completely honest with you, like, if I personally think London does. The other day, talking about who produces the tougher or who's produced the best or whatever. Play London, but obviously that's me being a bit biased too. I definitely think London produces a lot of knuckleheads and ballers and tough ass guys and that never quit attitude. But,
yeah, yeah,
but then again, you can't take credit from up north as well. Up north in the Midlands, and down south too, that they've done as much. They've brought in as much players as London has too. But yeah, growing up in London was amazing, man. It's wicked. It's definitely different to back home. Definitely different to anywhere else I've lived in the country. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm a city guy, so I'll definitely choose to live in London forever.
yeah, yeah. So going back to the season at Worcester, I think then that same season you moved to, was it Cheshire you moved to? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That just for the remainder of, I think it was like a month and a half left of the season,
yeah.
and
So
yeah, I ended up finishing off at Cheshire for sure.
yeah, I was going to ask, obviously by then, I guess everyone's got their own role. Everyone's used to things, and the coach has got his team. What was it like,
Mm.
kind of fitting in mid-season? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually tough. I mean, even now, like, if I was
Yeah,
to join a team now, like, it'd be impossible for anyone, regardless if you're the biggest player's player, if you're the biggest teammate. It's always tough. Like, even for me, it was difficult to go to it, especially because we'd lost to them in the trophy in the
yeah,
cup that
yeah,
same year. So it was a bit like, okay, cool. Everyone in Worcester sort of didn't like it, but at the same time, I was thinking more, well, I need a job. I need
yeah,
money. Do you know what I mean? I need money. I need a job. And at the time, Cheshire was showing interest as well. So I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, I personally think I did make a super quick decision. I thought, like, the second I had my controversy with Worcester, I think 2 days later, I made the decision to already leave and go to Cheshire, which
mm.
now I think back was a bit quick, a bit too rushed and stuff. But in terms of moving in there, the guys were amazing. OJ was there, who I was really cool with.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'd played with Malcolm Riley before. CJ Gettis was there, and everyone was really, like, welcoming. Everyone was lovely. They had who they have at the time, who I was really cool with at the moment. I think it was Rob Sandoval and Torre. I forgot his name. His first name. Oh, idiot. But yeah, something Torre. He was there. But
yeah,
everyone was really welcoming. Even the Coach Ben, he was super, like, it would make me feel comfortable. The owners, everyone out there was super, like, welcoming to me. The fans as well were amazing. But I feel like the fans in every league, like in
yeah,
all the
yeah,
teams in the
yeah.
league, are really good as well. So, but yeah, it was nice. The transition was quite tough, but it was easy. Plus, I was on a momentum from having such a great year with Worcester. So it just, basketball wise, it felt super natural. And then teammates, yeah, they just made it as easier just being there and stuff.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I had Denzel Ubiara on the podcast, and I asked
My favorite player in the BBL. Denz, he's my favorite player. Him and Will, but I don't tell Will. Denz is definitely my favorite player in the BBL.
Yeah, so I asked him who's the team DJ, and he said it's you, and then he did say it was you nominated yourself. Is that true, or did the team pick you to be the team DJ?
I definitely nominate myself. But the other thing is, they, like, for example, Ash would come in with a speaker, and Ash would give me the speaker. So in my mind, it's like, cool, I've been given a responsibility, you know, and I'm forever got my headphones in or something, and always listening to music. So I definitely would say I'm DJ, but there's also times where I'm just like, I don't know, I'd be on the bus already asleep with my headphones in, and someone else would play music, or we'd be in the S&C in the S&C lab, and Ash would do it. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter who takes the music now. But on long road trips, I definitely make sure that I'm the DJ. I'd rather me listen to my music out loud and everyone listen to your music in headphones.
Yeah.
Right.
So being, you know, playing in Plymouth, you know, I guess all the road, you know, all the away games are, you know, long trips.
Mate, don't even ask. They're horrible, them trips back down to Plymouth.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, guess how is it, you know, with those, especially the trip up to Glasgow? I can imagine that one's a proper killer.
No, the journeys are insane, and it's because our closest team is Bristol, so which is still a 2-hour drive. Do you know what I mean? So whenever we on the way back from like Manchester or Sheffield or something, and you see like, oh, cool, you start seeing like Bristol, the city and stuff. You're like, okay, cool, we're next to home. Like, you know, like for example, when I played in Surrey, you'd see like M25, like High Wycombe or something. You're like, like, we're 45 minutes away. So you kind of get that feeling with the same as here when you're like in Bristol. You're like, cool, like, damn, I'm only another 2 hours away. Let me just get back to sleep and hopefully wake up and I'm back, you know, back in my car or something. But the journeys are horrible, mate. But that's with every team in the league. I think we all travel on the same day and play on the same day and come back on the same day. And as players, on the players' standpoint, it's horrible. Like there's no worse feeling than getting off a bus and having to play a game, and you know your body can't move as quick as you was moving yesterday because you've just been laying down, whatever. But then from a coaching, you know, GM and a owner standpoint, like I understand why waste, you know, money to, but it's not really waste in my eyes. You know, I think every team should start anything that's beyond 5 hours, 6 hour journeys. Teams should look to stay the night before maybe, or whatever, or even if they go on the day of, if it's a late tip, go on the day of, stay the night, and then travel next morning. But I mean, you know, coaches want to go home as well. They don't want to have to stay with us any longer than they have to. So
well, I mean,
you know how it is.
Yeah, I went to Bristol last year, you know, from Manchester, and that you know, it took it out of me as a fan, you know, so I can only imagine what it's
draining, isn't it? Like you genuinely just get drained. Like you get tired, you get there and you're like, wow, what am I here for again? Like, oh Jesus, like we really have to do this. But the trip to Glasgow wasn't too bad for us. We stayed the night in Manchester. I mean, don't ask why we stayed in Manchester, but we didn't go the whole way up. We stayed in Manchester and then got up the next morning and just had breakfast, you know, just had breakfast delivered to our hotels and rooms, and then just got up, went, I think it's only like 2.5 hours or 3 hours or something. I'm not sure how far it is. Again, I was asleep the whole time, but it's just, it was only not as far as it would have been. And we ended up winning the game comfortably as well. We ended up winning the game by like 25 or something. So it's like, that kind of was, as players, we was all like, like, let's keep doing that. Every time we get the chance to stay in the hotel, let's smash the team next day and then let's prove our point about how we play better. But yeah, man, you get used to it though. After 8 years of doing it, like I can tell you how long it takes to get to Glasgow, what arena, I'll tell you the postcode to the gym, everything. Like, it's nuts.
So obviously, you know, you played on the Royals, you played in Surrey, and just, I guess, for instance, you mentioned Will. There's a lot, and you know, Ashley Hamilton's on Plymouth, Andrew Lawrence. A lot of the guys that you've played with previously are on the Raiders team now. So I guess how easy was it, or did it make it any easier at the start of the season to kind of gel, given you've known some of these guys, you know, previous?
Having that chemistry with each other, not even chemistry, having that friendship, having that, like, I know Ash personally, I know Will personally, I know Drew personally. Like, we do stuff outside of basketball, you know. We do loads of stuff. Like, been to Ash's baby shower when his child was born, before his child was born. Sorry, with Will. I've had dinner at Will's house numerous amount of times with his mum and like family and everything. And his family love me as if I'm like their own. Like it's just that just plays a massive part in all of it. You know, like everything does. I played with Drew in Kosovo, and being overseas and having Drew there was just like a massive stress reliever for me. Like I was able to be just so relaxed while being abroad, and having someone who's been abroad majority of his career. No, it was just it's easy, and then on the floor it just shows, you know, like it takes time to click as well. You know, you've got new teammates, new coaches, new sets, new players, etc. But it's just so easy to transition, and I think that's why at Royals we was successful super quick. You know, like we was able to win something in our first year because we just had that. Like, look, we know, like, let's do it for each other because we actually care about each other, you know. I'm not going to see you again and never have you and just keep you on socials. Like, I'm genuinely going to see you every summer. Like, I'm probably going to, you know, we all went to Ed's wedding because he got married while we was all there, so we all got like it was just everything just plays a big part. But it makes it so much easier having them around, especially like in situations where things are not going well. You know, like it's very easy to turn around and point a finger at someone who you don't really respect, and you don't respect, but someone you don't have to respect, someone who you don't necessarily want a relationship with. Whereas with someone who you've got that relationship with, it's cool. Well, I'm going to do it for you the same way you're going to do it for me. We're going to figure this out regardless how many games you have. On having them guys here, it made my job here even easier. Like I was like Ash is our captain, he's our leader, of course. Drew's like our spokesman / captain alongside Ash as well. Like they both like lead us no matter what happens. They always talk to us and everything. But they also understand like I'm also the type of guy to, while we're playing, be the kind of guy to get in your face and tell you what to do and get it right. And if you mess up, I'm going to tell you regardless of, you know, how you may feel. Like, let's just get it correct. And they understand that about me. Whereas if I was to go on a team where it's a bunch of new guys, they might think I'm trying to point them out in front of coach, or I'm trying to belittle them, or I'm trying to, you know, talk down to them. Whereas it's not that. Like, we all have that understanding. And then when shit hits the fan, sometimes we have each other's backs. Like if something wasn't to go right, like I could turn around and be like, yo, like that's Ash's character. Like Ash is like, for example, Drew and Ash, they hate losing. So like if we lose a game and they just start like putting their head down and not trying to talk to anyone and just like kind of being harsh on themselves because they know they could have done more, whatever. Like I understand that about them. Whereas other people might think, oh, you know, why he probably doesn't like me because I ain't contributing or blah, blah, blah. Whereas I just know that's their character. They hate losing, period.
Yeah.
You know?
Moving on to the fan question. So the first one's from Strictly Basketball. If you weren't playing, you know, basketball right now, what is it you would be doing?
Right now, if I wasn't playing, I would. I'd probably be coaching. Like I'd tag myself to a coach who I really respect and a team that I know will respect me having me, you know, and just try to learn the ropes from a coach from a young age and potentially go to coach. But I've got quite a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of, you know, I've got also a family business that I could help out with as well. I've got my brothers who I could always go and work with. Like, it's just, I've got a few options, but sports has always been the direction for me. I've always wanted to, I wanted to play, hopefully have a successful career, learn the game really well, and then eventually move on to be able to teach the game and coach the game and win, like, you know, win as a coach too, if that's possible.
Yeah. So I've got two more from Strictly Basketball. So the second one is Michael Jordan or LeBron?
I would say LeBron James because I grew up LeBron's era. You know what I mean? I grew up LeBron being my guy. But in terms of overall favorite forever would have to be Allen Iverson for sure. Allen Iverson or Kobe Bryant, you know, just because he was kind of the first guy I'd ever. He was the kind of first guy who I'd watched once I'd learned sport, like learn English and learn about basketball and everything, whatever. But LeBron James to me, just because I'd watched more LeBron, but I respect everything about MJ, and I still think MJ is one of the great, like probably the greatest.
Yeah,
But
yes.
LeBron for sure. If I had to pick one, I don't want to be that guy that says, yeah, MJ because he's got all these, he's got all this, all that, all this. But I genuinely watched LeBron the whole time growing up, like his era, LeBron, Kobe, and stuff.
Yeah. So, final question from Strictly Basketball: What made you decide to join the Plymouth Raiders this year?
There's a few stuff. I mean, and a lot of people say because a lot of the Royal guys went there, but for me, that didn't play a part until I actually got here. Like, I didn't realize how many of us was here from Royals until I actually got here. Yeah, didn't even think about it beforehand. But it was just the whole not having played basketball in God knows how long because of the pandemic, and not being able to train, and being at home was quite tough as well. Like being back home, it was very, oh, well, I wasn't used to it. You know, I'm used to being home at my parents for maybe 2 to 3 months, and then I'd be away playing somewhere, or I'd be staying with my brother back in London, or so it was difficult. So when that opportunity came, and plus it was PJ and Danny as well. Like I'd played for them in Worcester, so in my mind I thought I'm going back. I'm heading the same way I was when I had, in my eyes, one of my best years. So I thought, okay, playing for PJ, you know, he's going to end up giving me a chance like he did, and I know how he likes to play, so you know it should be easier the second time round. And I played at Plymouth before as well, playing at the Pavilions. I was hoping we was going to get fans this year, which I still hope we do. But just playing at the Pavilions is for any away team is a nightmare. So after doing it for 3 years or so, I thought, you know, let me go and be on their side for once. And yeah, just how it's really awesome. The city's really nice as well. Like Plymouth's such a beautiful town. I got, you know, friends. This is when the whole Andrew, Will, Ash part came in. Denz is here as well, who's really young, and you know, sky's the limit for him as well. So it's just, there was loads of reasons that take part, but one of the main ones was not having played basketball for ages, not having had an income for ages. Getting that offer at the time I did was like, okay, cool. Well, I've just done nothing for however long. I've just been offered a contract. I'd be stupid to turn it down. You know, like I want it, I need it, sort of thing. Plus, I was at before the pandemic. I was at a D1. I was at Essex before. So in my mind, I was like, cool. Well, I don't want to. No, I'm not in a rude way. I don't want to keep attracting any Division 1 teams. I'd rather stick with the BBL. So I spoke to three teams, but one team wasn't really that interested. And then I just thought, Plymouth. They've had the change of ownership. They got the Turks now, who are really, you know, basketball driven, and they really, really, really know what they're doing. So I thought, I'd love to be a part of it. You know, could be something amazing. It's worth the risk. So that was one of the few reasons.
So, moving on to about Essex, Jamie Furness has asked, who runs his own podcast, what I think it's called, What Was the Score, has asked, you know, talk about your time for, you know, the Essex Leopards. And
I enjoyed it big time. Like honestly, like Essex, after the club folding, like, and the deadline being really soon. You know, once the club folded, which didn't help. You know, teams in the BBL were pretty much already set. So I ended up, my mindset was kind of like, all right, cool. Well, let me just accept the fact that I might not play for the rest of the season, and just, you know, I was helping my mum and dad a lot back home at work. So I was living back home and helping my parents out quite a lot. And then OJ, in fact, went to Orland, went to Essex before. And obviously, Coach Tom, he's you know, he's the guy. I've spoken to him quite a lot. He's such a cool guy as well. And Prince and Chuck were there as well at the time, and they didn't have a great record neither. And speaking quite a bit to OJ as well, OJ sort of kind of, to be honest, OJ kind of convinced me to sort of, he's like, yo, like, just, if you're not doing nothing, just come here. Like, you know what I mean? So I spoke to Coach Tom. He was super cool. He was like, just kept it 100 with me. He was just like, look, our record's not that great. If you can come in and help, that'd be amazing. Just not even secure a playoff spot, just allow us not to get relegated, and come in. And he told me straight up, look, I just want you to be a leader and win us games, period. And that's what we ended up doing. And it was funny as well. Like, I actually really enjoyed my time there. The journey was quite far from my parents to Essex, but for basketball, I'm living in Plymouth now, and I'm, you know, from London. So like, journeys doesn't mean anything to me, but it was just fun. Like, it was another offer. It wasn't nothing to do with money or anything. Like, I think it wasn't even like a contract. There wasn't nothing serious. Like, it was just like, OJ was just like, yo, if you still want to play, we'd love to have you. Tom was just like, he was super like, Nice. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry, mate. He was like super nice with how he approached me and stuff. So yeah, Essex was wicked, man. It's such a good program as well. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but Essex was nice. Like Division One was good. I didn't realize how tough it actually is until you play.
Yeah.
Like you really have to play. Like a lot of people look down on it, but no, Division One's a tough league.
Yeah, so I think it might have been a couple of weeks, couple of months after the Royals won the BBL Trophy. I think it came out that the trophy was smashed, and Purple Hippo Printing has asked, is it true that it was you who smashed the glass BBL Trophy?
I smashed it.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Who smashed it?
No. The trophy. I've never heard. That's the first time I've heard about the trophy being smashed.
Yeah, well,
I'm yet to hear that rumor. But no,
I think what happened was the following year it wasn't the same trophy or something, so people assumed it was smashed or whatever's gone on.
I remember that where Matt Bryan tried to tweeted the BBR saying like ask Elvisi, but no, it was when the club folded. A lot of stuff like our jerseys, we had like at Crystal Palace. There's like a VIP box suites at the top, and we used to leave like all our stuff there, like the massage beds, our game night jerseys, towels, water bottles, drinks, balls, everything for practice. And because we was a new club, we hadn't really had an office. We ain't got nothing. Like we were just still starting. We were just starting from scratch. They didn't have anything, so I think it was just in the cupboard in there. And then by the time everything had folded and everyone was waiting to get their money and eventually trying to get their money and etc. God knows what happened. But no, to answer the question, I didn't smash it, and I don't think the trophy has been smashed, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so I'm going to ask my own question here. Aside from whatever went on with Royals, off court, what was it like being a part of kind of building a new basketball team and bringing in, I guess, new fans as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It was definitely a challenge. It was for sure a challenge. The first year, it was pretty like fans' engagement was like just friends and family from growing up.
Yeah,
so you would have Matt, Ash, Wills, myself, Jules, like every single player, Ed's family, like everyone you'd come there and you'd literally have friends and family of all the players, and then you'd have all the fans that eventually started coming as the thing, and it just became amazing. Like it was awesome. Like I think not the worst, but like that was a really bad thing for the Royals to have to fold the way they did and how soon they did when being in the BBL, because it was such a good feeling to have two professional franchises in London, and the hype that came with it. And every time we played each other, it was like you could feel the hostility between like the two teams. And excuse me, like you could even like Joe, for example, like, and Joe's the kind of guy that's like a Kinwin from Lions. Like he would be like, even though we're friends and we're cool, and, we respect each other and whatever, he's the kind of guy that's like there's only one team in London. We're the real London team. Like we're the only, and that kind of builds such an atmosphere. That builds such a clash between us and them and whatnot. And it's just and it's good because as you can see, like they, Ed's gone there, Jules has gone there. Like it's nothing personal. It's just straight. It's what's needed for the league, for the fans, for engagement, for viewers, for everything. And then end of the season, it's all love. We see each other at UEL scrimmages or Copper Box, wherever. But yeah, it was nice. It was good to have that team. It was a big shame that it folded the way it did. It was nice being back in London, and then the off-court life was just amazing because it was you were back home in London. I was able to see. I was picking up my niece from school like at least once a week. I was seeing my brothers more than I've ever seen them. I got to spend time with my mum and dad. Like it was superb.
Yeah. So, is it Best Dusha? That's
my brother. I know he's asked. He texted me saying, "Make sure you answer my question."
He's asked, who's Elvisi's favourite coach when he was younger, older bro or younger bro?
So my first ever team was a CV. I think it was called CVL at the time. We used to play in like in these like Sunday league. I'm not sure what it was called. It was like local league, Sunday league sort of thing. Back in Hackney, so we travel all the way from West London all the way to Hackney and play in these tournaments. But my coaches at the time, so the team was me and a bunch of friends who used to play basketball. Like we'd just be friends. We'd play in a park, whatever. We ended up making a CVL team linked with a girls team. So they had a girls team already, and then my brother was like, "Screw it, we'll make a boys team with the Hounslow Hawks." And they was actually my coaches. My older brother and my middle brother were the two coaches of the team. But my middle brother, he's sort of the guy who's like if you're crap, you're crap. Like, he's got no problem. Oh, mate, he'd be like, you're shit. Like, if I'm having a bad game, he'll be like, oh, you shouldn't have even showed up or anything. And that, whereas my older brother's more of like the motivator, to talk you into it, kind of tell you what to do. So, and they always have back and forth clashes of like, oh, Elvisi is where he is because of me. And then my other brother would be like, no, he's there because we just have these little battles. But yeah, to answer that, they were both my favorite coaches. But Erblin, which is my middle brother, Erblin definitely, because he's just tell you how it is. If you're useless, you're damn useless. Best, we always need that motivation from Best.
So, is it Lena Mahadri? Am I saying that right?
Lena Mahadri, that's my little sister in Albania.
Yeah. She's asked you to talk about your family and specifically your sister.
No, she wants me to talk about it now. She knows. She already knows. She's amazing. She's amazing, man. She's like I would do anything to have her here if that's possible. Like I tell her all the time, like I wish, like if Albania was in, well, I was going to say the EU, but not anymore. But like I would love to have her. Like she's just amazing. Like she's the soul of her family as well as my family. Like she's amazing. Like her whole family's amazing. Like I genuinely can't wait to just go back out there, see them, and especially now, like even back home. So like I've got a couple of family members are not feeling well, whatever. So like there's no, like, she's the best person in the whole wide world, believe me.
Yeah. So Johnny Nash has asked, how did you first get into basketball?
I just played sports. I'll be honest with you. Football, basketball, volleyball was actually my favorite in school. Badminton, tennis, cricket. I won a cricket cup with my school back in, like every sport, anything that kept me in school and keeping busy. Whereas instead of going out and sort of, you know how it is back out, I just did like literally everything. Like or a sport, orienteering, like anything, like whatever it was that just kept me busy, I'd do. And then basketball just become like just my favorite. I don't know what it become. Both my brothers played football, and I just thought, oh, let me try something different. And I'd meet loads of guys who tell me about their stories growing up, and I was just like really like moved by it. I was like, you know what? Like I want to be able to have that same story. I want to be able to say the same thing. I want to be able to. And then it was just, for me, it was crazy how quick it went up. Like I was playing men's by the time I was 16, and it was weird to me to see how well, because I was actually seeing myself develop. You don't really ever see yourself develop. When I was young, I was watching myself get better and better and better. And I was just like, and then that's when I started having that mindset of, well, sky's the limit. Like, as long as you don't cheat yourself, like, don't just keep grinding. Whatever happens. And then, like that's how it is. But any sport, man, I tell, like me, when I have my kids, I tell my girl all the time, every time when we have kids, I want every sport. I don't want to be that guy that's like put a ball in their hand and force it. But like go out there and go crazy. Play every sport you want and figure out yourself which one you like the most, and then we'll work it from there.
Yeah. So because from a lot of the players I spoke to when I've asked, how they got into basketball, and that a lot of them have said that they started playing, I guess, around 16, 17, 18, and I guess when you compare it to football players, it's usually once a born, a football.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was going to ask, what age did you start playing basketball?
I took basketball like seriously. When I say seriously, I meant as in stop playing football in case I got hurt, and stop doing extra at school. Like started doing, so instead of staying after school for football, I'd go jump on the bus and jump on like 4 buses to get all the way to Richmond College to go and practice with London United, who was like Kalen and all them guys at the time. Yeah. Even if I went practice, I'd just go watch. And I was seriously, I took it when I was in year 9 or 10. It was the summer of year 9 and going into year 10. I'm not sure how old that makes me. I think
about
that was like
14, 15, I think.
Yeah, 14, 15, where I started actually training. And then by the time I got in year 10, it was straight, just like in year 10 is when I took it serious, is when I genuinely started, I'm going to put my head down and just bust my ass and work. And then obviously year 11, I just continued to develop. And then by the time I got into first year of the academy, I was playing men's. So I was 16, 17 years old playing against men's, which just shot up, in terms of development and stuff. It's a bit damaging on the body, but it was development wise, it was awesome. But I didn't start, I don't really know, like I speak to a lot of guys who talk about like, since I've been like 5, 4,
Yeah.
6 or 7. And in my head, I'm thinking, I would love to have like, I would wish I did, you know, I really wish, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I suppose over here, you know, I guess it's you've got to go out there and find it, you know, rather than, you know, if, you know, to get into football, it's right there, you know, you go on your phone, it's there, you know, on TV or whatever, whereas basketball, you've got to look for it. So
exactly.
Because I know when I was looking to get into basketball, you know, I had to search up, you know, basketball clubs or British basketball, you know, basketball in England, you know, that kind of thing. You have to go out there and look for it.
Football's so easy, like so accessible, whereas basketball is like you really do have to hunt for it. You know, I definitely agree, but it's nowhere. Back then, it's finding basketball now is
I can imagine
easy compared to back then. Back then, it was like my most like to travel for 3 years or for 4 years when I was in school. So my first year 10 and 11, I used to every day without school would finish at 2:55. I know I probably shouldn't say this, but depending on like the bus times, I would probably leave class. Like I used to leave halfway through the lesson to go get on the bus to get all the way to Richmond College, which was, I think it was 3 buses, practice from 4 to 6, and then I'd stay to watch the men from 6 to 8. Then I'd get home at 10 o'clock and then do the same thing again tomorrow, you know. And then when I was in college, when I was at the academy, at Harefield Academy, I used to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, meet Corey, Mo, the Hooper's voice, Mo, meet all them guys at like Southall train station. We used to take like 2 buses and a train, or 2 buses, or sometimes take the train. Used to leave at like 6:30 in the morning. We used to stay there till like 9:30, get home at 10, and do that literally for 6 days a week. Like it was, when you're like, it's just, you don't really see as how much you really put in at the time. But then when you think back to it, you're like, right, like I genuinely was, you know, busting, like doing everything I could.
Yeah. So onto the quickfire round, I guess. So so I'm sure you did it, you know, for Sky. It's kind of like, you know, their teammates. It's similar questions as well. So who's the biggest gamer on the team?
Video gamer?
Yeah.
Will, Neighbor, Ricky, Miguel has to be there. Every time I go back to the house, to see them, they're forever on the thing. Has to be Ricky. Who else plays games a lot? Chris forever stays in his game. To be fair, or Big Mike. Big Mike's active on his. You know, he'd be rushing home to play his Call of Duty. But yeah, I think everyone. But for me, it has to be Will and Ricky. Every time I go back to where they're staying there forever, just literally like this, just going crazy. Yeah, okay. But I play quite a bit as well.
Yeah. So what is it you play? Is it FIFA or?
FIFA. I've never lost in FIFA. So if anyone wants any smoke in FIFA, I'll give you my PlayStation name, whatever it's called. But yeah, FIFA. No, I'm the man at FIFA. Jules will be able to verify. Jules, when we played in London, I don't think Jules won. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
FIFA. Nah, Jules is good. I don't want to say that because he'll go mad. But Jules is alright at FIFA as well. But he knows how it is. But I literally just downloaded NBA 2K21 just now because they've got a discount. So I just paid like £15 or £16 for it now. I just downloaded it, but I've been playing Call of Duty and Apex, an American game that not many people might know.
Yeah, I'm gonna warn you about 2K21. I bought it when it first came out. I'm not good at all, not at all. But
is the game any good though?
I prefer 2K20, but I haven't tried out 2K21 that much. So yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna try do the story mode and just see how that goes first, and then figure out from there. I'm not a big fan of online. Everyone's just better than me on online. I just get mad and start throwing stuff or whatever.
Have you got it on PlayStation 5 or?
No, I wish. My brother just bought, my middle brother, who plays 0 video games, just bought a PS5.
Typical.
And I'm saying to him, look, I'll give you the PS4. You use YouTube, Netflix. I've got Sky Go. I've got everything on there. You can have it. Just give me the PS5, and I'll even give you. And he's just not budget. So yeah, he's a bit of a nutter.
Okay, so who's the clumsiest on the squad?
Probably Big Mike. I'm not going to shout it too loud because he's next door, but definitely Big Mike.
Okay.
It'll have to be. I'd say Big Mike. No, I would say no, not Prince. Prince is he's all right. Yeah, definitely Big Mike. Big Mike be all over the place.
Okay, so who? I asked Denzel the same question. I asked him who arrives the latest, and he said Prince just arrive. He's not late, but he arrives just on time. Can you confirm that or?
Prince arrives when Prince wants to arrive.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But it's not, without sounding bad. Like I don't want to make it sound like we'll be 20 minutes into practice. Like Prince will arrive when he has to. Like we'll be, like for myself, for example, if practice is at 10 o'clock, I'll aim to get there around 9:30, 9:45 latest. Whereas Prince would be like, all right, practice at 10 o'clock. I'll come in around 10 to 10. But he's not late though. Like 10, he'll be laced up. He'll be changed. He'll be ready to go. But to answer the question, I'd say latest would have to be PJ. Would have to be Prince or PJ. But PJ's always got work. But we all kind of get onto him about, yo, what are you doing? But he's always working. He's always got reason. But it's just a thing where we're always kind of like, you know, who's going to be the latest, PJ or Prince? And it's always PJ. He's got an excuse, but we still don't let him off.
Yeah. Okay, so the final question. That's just in my mind. Oh man, who's the hardest working on the team? There we go.
Hardest working on the team. Everyone sort of does their part. Like everyone knuckles in when they have to. But you know what? From just what I've seen recently, I would definitely say Andrew at the moment. Like there's not a day that Andrew's missed, and I know he's just got into his. You know, he's doing his rehab and he's progressing really well. And just seeing him go from having to be on crutches and a knee brace and a brace or whatever he was in, all the way to, like, I think yesterday he started like actually jumping now as well. So, and it was super, like in my mind, it was super quick. So just seeing how hard he works and he's always been like that, you know? So just, I think Drew's definitely one of the hardest workers on the team, but at the same time, not taking away anything from anyone. Everyone literally bust their ass as well. Everyone sort of knuckles in, locks in, and gets on with the job.
Okay, so it's been great talking to you. You know, I guess catching up. Sure. So yeah.
Yeah, always. I mean, we'll be up in. Not that you can even come to games. I was about to say, I'll see you next time we come to Manny, but damn.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure I'll see you next season. I guess. Yeah, hopefully.
No, we will. Hopefully, we get some fans by the end of the year. Anyway, man. Like it'll be good to have fans, and I say that more for our side because I just know how crazy the pavilions will get. So, excuse me, but no, it's been awesome talking to you as well, man. Good to see you still doing your thing, and everyone loves the fact you're so on job with everything. You know, everything's like the other day we were watching the game. Which game was it? It was a weekend one where there was I think it was Cam's dunk or a move or it was something, and we was all like, I was on my phone or something, I missed it. And I was like, shit, I missed it. Let me see it again. The quickest place I went to was online to your thing. I was like, I know for a fact you've already got it up and you've got it sorted. So you just got to log in straight away and it's there.
Yeah.
But man. No, it's good. It's good.
Appreciate it.